All right, recording started. Let's begin. So we'll start with analyzing the S&P 500 like usual. I'm gonna pull up this daily chart, which has been my guide lately. I'm trying to use the daily levels that we see, like any peaks and valleys that we see. This one actually deserves to be color coded. This level right here. I don't know if you guys see this consolidation lows. Yeah, just because of this consolidation lows, we can count it that this is a pretty big level. And this one as well, a prior lower high and everything. So we're just gonna color code it as well, yellow. Now this whole run up has been hard for me because since I try to follow trends start and end from where the move starts and ends, right? So basically, from this leg lower, there was already a retracement for this move that it could possibly turn around to the downside. Now, being extended from daily 20, I thought it could go higher than that, but obviously it cut like butter through those places. And if you go to the next one, where it started off from here all the way to here, you see that it went through the 618, 65 like butter again. You know, it's just like a hot knife on butter. So this thing has been rallying up with no stops. These shaded areas are basically gaps where the market has not traded during the cash sessions, where futures happens to go up and like this is a CPI candle, and then you know I don't know what happened during these two candles, but we rally up. So earnings season's out of the way. We're probably where the market was trying to relieve that, leave that behind and start going up from there, which is just what happened, right? We knew that we were looking for a green week for the second week. Let me show you a little bit. Come on, whenever you want to load, bro. Okay. So whenever this first week of push close about the weekly 20, the next weekly candle is supposed to go and tag it and bounce, and we expected a green week off of that. Going for the third week was not my idea. I was looking for this lower high to be the end of it and try to see if we can start getting a pullback, but no, it didn't happen. In fact, like I was already calling for a possible pullback from here. Now, when we had this candle, I was right for one day, but I was looking for something like this, right? And it didn't happen. This thing was still went higher. So it's been tough for the perspective idea of trying to get a good entry for longs. It just happened, they just happen like that. And now what I'm seeing right here is something similar to this, right? A topping candle. What is a topping candle? It's basically exhaustion of the move. It's been green, and then we have a red candle. It doesn't mean that it's topping. If anything, this one is the topping candle because it breaks the prior day low after all these many days didn't break any prior day lows. So I thought that could be the end of the move. Now we have something similar, a topping candle, which is a shooting star right at the highs. That tends to be points of candles of reversals and anything and everything like that. If you see the market trading and covering this whole wick, expect further upside. Because all the sellers that are inside this wick are just gonna get squeezed out. And I have a major level right here at 45.58 on futures. So the idea for this candle, if you really want to see a turnaround on the markets to start filling gaps and everything, you want to see the highs of the candle to not breaching this high for ideal setup. Can it still poke it and then come back down? Yes. But the ideal setup is that it doesn't break this high, that this candle that stays untouched. We don't go above this high and then start dumping from there. We know that this market has been rallying up. We broke a last swing high right here. So the perspective on the fibs has to be anchored on the last move higher, something like this. So I think if we do start retracing back, there's a big possibility that we could cover the CPI gap right here. Cover the CPI gap into 50% or the 618 retracement. If we hit the 618, the whole gap has been filled, right? So that's the outlook if we end up topping right here. That's the outlook. The these are all inefficiencies left on the market. The market, there's also fair value gaps on the daily that the market latest
Wait,
fixes, you know. Go ahead.
before you continue, are you recording with sound?
Yes, I'm recording with sound.
Okay. Okay.
I already checked. So yeah, the that's the idea. I will think that if those retracements don't hold, I will be aiming for a daily 20. And then if that doesn't hold, I'll be aiming for a low, for the gap fill over here. That doesn't hold. I'll be like, you take it level by level, right? Especially when something breaks and tags on the opposite side, it's a good entry for like another short, right? So if we end up breaking lower, come and tag this, entry short, boom, back down, right? So first thing first, if tomorrow, like this overnight is already breaking the prior day lows, right? So if tomorrow we open around this area, I'll be looking for shorts, right? I'll be looking for shorts because we're opening very close to this area. Anything that goes tops right here and then fumbles, it's a short entry into the next levels. And if you gotta take the hourly, because all these levels that you see right here, they're daily levels. They're not Am I downloading something? Let me check. Oh yeah, Call of Duty update. So anyway, hourly candle lows tend to be points of levels as well, right? So you can place a level right here at this hourly candle low, and I will definitely place a big level right here at this pre-market high before the CPI run, or this candle high, right? Prior this what is this? The 1113 candle right here high, because the that would be like a main level to go for. It fills a gap, and it fills not only a gap on the RTH session, but a fair value gap as well, right? So there's that, right? Now how do we trade gaps? This is very important, guys, because one of the first rules that we have is that anything 20 plus points gaps are considered large, and large gaps, this was an 80-point gap, I think. Large gaps do not tend to fill on the first day, okay? Which is what happened. It did not fill on the first day. It may not fill. It may fill later. You know, it's just the odds of filling on the first day are very, very low. It's just the action that happens after a gap tends to be a sideways action at the highs, because it's a digestion of the move, right? The market is digesting the move, and it's just, there's no way you want to short this. Sellers don't come in. There's profit takers. Just a little bit of range right here, right? Nobody wants to take it long because it already ran too much. So it does create a range at the highs. Now, whenever you start going into the gap, the beginning of the gap tends to be support. So even if we drop here, you may see a bounce. And this is when you start going into like hourly levels, daily levels for a re-entry short, right? Because these levels tend to be a short-term bounce, something like this, right? And also, whenever you start going inside the gap, right? I know everybody's gonna think that the gap's gonna fill completely, right? We're going straight to the bottom end of it. It's gonna be a 80-point drop or whatever. Not necessarily so. Not necessarily so. You need to look at the gaps that. Another rule is that first thing first, you may only get the middle of the gap. You know, 50% of the gap, which is this level right here, 4460 being in the middle. So that's the idea, right? That if we end up getting a fill of the gap, I could target 4460. Now, if we start going below the 50%, I could go for two-thirds of the range, right? Two-thirds of the range. And if we start filling that, then I can go for the full gap fill. But unless things are super bearish, like we have some economic data that will move the price in a very large move, I can you know, I think it's not gonna get, this whole thing is gonna get filled out in one day. It'll take I don't know, 2 to 3 sessions. You know, this is just a speculation, right? So there you have the idea, right? Topping candle, possible retracement lower, anchor your fibs from year to year, and if it starts negating the, if it starts going below the 618, like if we drop below this 618 and 65% retracement around this area, you have to open your fibs to the whole weekly move like this. And that's your new weekly perspective. And I find it interesting that going all the way back down to the 65% retracement, if it almost fills this gap right here. It would almost fill this gap. But yeah, first things first, right? Like go according to the levels as they go. You're not gonna just go short and close your eyes, right? But that's what I see on the market. The can it go higher? Yes, guys. I mean, I don't want you guys to think that I'm putting this on stone because I was already calling for a deeper pullback because of these candles right here. You know, these candles right here, and this candle low is what ended up being the weekly candle 20 MA. So the market only needed a tag of this and go, and it did it on a Friday, right? So what do we have for this week? We don't have anything like that, you know. You don't have anything like that that will stop it from going into a pullback, a deeper pullback for the rest of the week. The profile that we have for the market right now, it's for, because we went higher on a Monday. I'm sorry, no move on Monday, higher on Tuesday, and this calls for, when you get expansion on Tuesday, it calls for an usually, right, top of the week being on Wednesday. So that's what we have right now. Don't put anything on stone, right? Especially since we have a topping candle, reversal candles like this. If they are, you can already tell that sellers are positioning because of this candle, right? If you cover this whole candle, you know, for sellers are gonna hit the buy button again, and up we go into the next level, which is 44.58, 45.58. I'm sorry, 45.58. Okay. Any questions about this, guys? And you guys can participate. It says the stream video quality bad for anyone, just me. There's usually problems with it. I'm gonna upload it to YouTube, but is anybody else having problems with the quality? Blurry as fuck. Oh my god. Let me redo the stream, okay? Let me change the oh my god, that's blurry as fuck. You're right. Let me. It's better now. Discord sucks, man. Cause I've been paying for Nitro, which is supposed to be a it's supposed to be, what's it called? High quality. I have a 1080 FPS. Anyway, you guys are telling me I didn't pay them enough. I know, right? That's what I'm thinking, Aaron. It's like, give me more money. And I don't know if the like the watcher, does the people watching have to have a Nitro as well, or is it only the streamer? From what I understand, only the streamer, right? So give me a heads up if it goes bad again. If it's good right now, yeah. I hope it's better. So just doing a little quick recap. topping candle. If we cover this, we're going higher. We call it, if we cover this wick, right? Anchoring fibs from year to year. And if we do get a gap fill, go for the 50% at the beginning and then start going for more. So if we go below the 5% retracement on this move, then start anchoring your fibs this way. Get a whole weekly move. Okay? So I hope that's clear because I'm moving on to the next for NQ. All right. About the same idea. About the same idea, guys. Same idea, topping candle. This new daily candle should not go over this high right here. In fact, let's place a level. If this is gonna be a really nice topping candle, and we start the shorts that initiate into a... You're still blurry? Oh my God. Let me rejoin the stream, guys. Let me... Let me share my screen again. Maybe if I share the application. Hold on, let me share the application. I'm gonna share the application instead of the... Join back and let me know what the results are. Because I was sharing my screen, but... Better or not? Slightly better. Okay. Hopefully that slightly better is at least you guys can see the candles. So yeah, going by the candles. Yeah, the better. Okay. So yeah, same idea, guys. We're gonna anchor our fibs at the, like this to start with. 50% aligns with the full gap fill for CPI. The next daily candle should not go over this, and the profile that we have calls for a top on Wednesday, and then it start going back down. The what else I was gonna say? We're extended from the daily 20. We're extended from a weekly 20. You know, so there's a pretty good chance of having a pullback. A pretty good chance. What do you guys think? You guys bullish or bearish? What's the sentiment? Bad again. Oh my God. That's Discord, man. I'll post the recording on YouTube, but yeah. Big is saying tomorrow, super bearish tomorrow. Bullish through December, but pullback is needed. Yeah, I mean, even, you know what the people call for a Christmas rally? And that is usually like the 2 weeks before Christmas or before the year ends. Or I think it's a week before the year end and a week after. You know? Back to the trend line. What is the trend line though? You talking about this like this? Or you talking about something like this? I mean, all of this is steep, right? But at least something like this, right? I don't use trend lines anymore, guys, but I don't find success using them. They bait me a lot, so, and they're very what do you call it? Whenever it's like the perception that individuals have is just is to each yeah, to each their own. Subjective, yes, Okami, yes, that's the trend line. Everything is subjective, but trend lines are even more, right? Because how you anchor your fibs is subjective, right? I know I know where to anchor them. You may anchor them differently, but at least, you know, trend lines are mega subjective. You know, a slightly degree change like this changes the whole thing, right? Or like going from this candle low or this candle low right here is changes the whole thing. So very subjective. But I do think that yes, the whole, you know, going back, you know, having a better pullback for a move higher, yeah, I think is kind of needed to have that Christmas rally. And the I think that those rallies or sell-off at the end of the year, if you notice last year we had a sell-off, right? So they tend to be, I think, for because of tax reasons. So you harbor your losses at the end of the year if you're at a loss, meaning that, you know, just like last year, to this point, the market had been bearish for whole 2022, right? So at the end of the year, it just keeps selling off because it's, you gotta harvest those losses, right? You were long the year, you take those losses, and you, what happens at the beginning and from the beginning of the year, you join back into your position because they have harvested loss, they can claim it, you know, on their taxes. You buy back in, and there you go, right? So you can pay for the winners' taxes. So if you think about it, this year has been bullish, right? From start to finish, right here. So at the end of the year, what could you expect for the tax season? What will people do for at the end of the year for taxes, right? So it makes sense that if there's a lot of shorts, they have to cover it at the end of the year to harvest the loss and push the market higher. You know, that was creating the Christmas rally. You know, like inverse of what happened last year, right? But I want to see a good level or something where the Christmas rally can start from, and then we can take it higher. It says major pullback for 38. Well, let's do the same what we did on ES but on SPY. Right? Same idea. If we do get a major pullback, talking about major pullback from here, 438 is over here, you should start thinking about the first gap fill first. But major pullbacks will make it into the 32 retracement at least, if not the 50% retracement. Major pullbacks. But at least from the last move higher, that was this, you're looking at a 50% being 442 or 618, 440. 65% retracement is around 439, 440. So yeah, those will be the pullbacks. But major will be taking the whole weekly range. And yes, the yes, we can look at EDG. What is that? Let's do a quick look. Solar Edge Technologies. Okay, so we have a range at the lows with a daily 20 rejection, 2 up candle with a 2 down candle. So this calls for a setup that if it breaks the low, you'll have continuation short because we had a rejection on the daily 20. This is, if it's a tough short, because if you short here, you're shorting the bottom, right? I mean, look at this, the bottom. But I know there's a gap fill that was not, this is probably some other news because it was not on earnings. So, you know, you need a close up about the daily 20 so you can start thinking about a gap fill. You get a close on a daily candle about daily 20, I'll support the idea that it may go to at least a daily 50, if not the full gap fill right here. And as the same idea of the other ones, at least go and take a 50% level of the gap, right? So 50% is right here. All right. So, you know, go level by level. But first thing first, it needs a candle close above the daily 20. If not, there's a short below right here. And then you go aim for this gap fill from year to year. There's a setup right there. Daily 20 rejection to down to up to down. break this, boom, back down. What ticker is this? It's SEDG. The company's being bombed by Gaza. I want to short. Oh, okay. I get you. I trade imaginary lines, but if you want to trade fundamentals, yeah, you can put it on top of technical analysis. I want to show you guys something that we're on the VIP. Right now we are short DVN and Oxy, and I want to start showing you guys the future chart for oil futures. Okay, so let me see. So right now we have a continuation down after a topping candle for what it had a counter trend bounce, a little dead cat bounce to then drop later, and right now it's trading below the 618 retracement, the 6.5. Thus brings the odds that we're gonna go into the lows again right here. So this setup that I see right here, it's giving me the opportunity and the bias to go short oil stocks. So I want to show you guys the whole sector, which is XLE. Very similar to what we're having, right? A downtrend, a lower high to a lower low to a lower high, lower low, and then we're placing this possible lower high right here. We don't know if it's a lower high until we get another down candle next. But we can already see that there's a daily 20 EMA rejection, a gap fill that happened over here. So what I'm expecting is that this candle breaks, the next candle breaks the low. Oil futures supporting that move. This is my oil futures hourly chart. And we can start going for an oil leg down, or maybe just a retracement higher, right? Like if you take for a higher low, it may go back down to this 50 or the 618. So that gives us an opportunity to make some money at least to those points, and now if it goes lower, even better, right? So when you go back down to an Oxy chart, this is why we're short. You can see the trend lower. You can see a daily 20 EMA tag. We're sadly a break even on this trade because we took it short right here. It went up before it came back down again. But tomorrow, I think we can have continuation of this. I think we can get continuation in this, and then we can head over this lows again. So that's what I'm hoping, you know, that it goes back to the 60s. And DVN, same chart, same looking chart, right? Not the same, I guess, but you have a gap fill. It went up to fill the gap. Daily 20 EMA rejection. This one did not trade below this low right here. So I have an alert that if it crosses this low, it triggers a major short. But it hasn't triggered. So it's on watch. I think Oxy is a little more convincing, but I know that DVN doesn't have that much institutional holding like Oxy. Oxy is being backed by Berkshire Hathaway, right? So Warren Buffett. So
He just sold a lot of his Oxy.
did he? Oh, interesting.
Yeah, he sold a huge position.
Yeah, Warren Buffett sold 80% of Oxy shares.
Really?
80.
He owned like
because of TSM and Oxy, because of his investment were based off Taiwan, and he didn't want to be involved within the Taiwan and China affairs.
that I understand I know about the TSM, but I didn't know about the Oxy. From what I remember, on June they were still buying Oxy shares. When did you see that they sold? I had to check because they went big on this. They own like 30% or more of the float. I don't, if they sold, then I don't know. But if you can check, if you can give me a where I can find that information, that'll be great. As of now, I do think that Oxy I don't even remember where. Yeah, Warren Buffett bought around these levels right here, I believe. So right now they're like, I don't know, they're not making much money out off of it, right? But that's what I'm saying. Like if you compare the weekly charts from each, this is the daily. Let me show you the weekly. The weekly, you see a big push, right? Last 3 years, big push, and then a range higher, right? If you look at DBN, you're still coming in on a downtrend after this big push. So I is sitting at the lows right here. So I think it's a what's it called? It's much weaker, right? I think it'll have more selling activity than Oxy itself. Other charts that are oil are XOM. It still has some kind of setup right there as well. You guys see this little bear flag that is breaking lower, so we can hit back down to the 102s. That's a play. I don't know if we'll play it, right, because we're already in two oil plays, but I do like this chart. I don't like that it's not touching the daily 20, but yeah. So I have not traded oil in a while, Kami, in the longest time, but I should. That was a clean setup, and sometimes you see the setup on oil, you want to play it on oil stocks, and you will be better off doing just oil futures. Yeah, if you come up with a source about the Oxy sell, then let me know. But yeah, as far as I know, I haven't seen those news. If those news came out, Oxy would have dumped heavily. Trust me. You would see a biggest dump on Oxy if they sell their stake, because a lot of that price is sustained by people trying to copy and follow Warren Buffett. But all right, that's the setups that I wanted to share. If you find another setup on oil that looks good, let's say Halliburton, it also looks good, right? Daily 20 rejection, candle covering this low right here, possible continuation lower. SLB extended from the daily 20, so not that good, but also you see this staircase up and then possible bear flag to break lower. So, and then we have a lot of room to the downside on this one. So yeah, what does it look like? This head, shoulder, shoulder, neckline breaks, head lower. This whole move up is gonna be whole move down. So yeah, I like this chart. Schlumberger, or however you say, SLB. All right. Next up, I'm gonna check Mara for Remy. Mara has an interesting chart. Let me put my Bitcoin futures chart right here so I can see what's doing on the hourly. Okay, nice breakout. What is it now? 37, and it's holding those high levels. Okay, so I was telling him earlier on the VIP, we had this breakout. I like that the candle multiple wicks on the daily 20, and this one specifically has a tag of it and goes above and holds above all this price. So this usually calls for higher prices, right? This is day 1 of breakout, and you could have day 2, possibly day 3. Plus, more than that, maybe not, but we always look for at least continuation, if the move calls for it. We have increasing volume, this is post earnings. So all looking good. The only problem that I have with this chart is that we could encounter something like this back in April, May, June. I mean, you could argue that, oh shit, we're gonna break out of range at any point right here, and it wasn't. It just stayed like that. So that's my only issue, that it can do something like that. But whenever it breaks out of consolidation like this, like it's such a big spring that whenever it releases the low, bam. So yeah, it does call for higher prices. and I have this level right here, this major level right here, 11.79, and this other major right here on 13.8. Obviously, it has to get help from Bitcoin, and Bitcoin doesn't look bad. You know, it's holding those. You see, it has those big breakouts, and then it just holds sideways, meets the overextension, and then has another breakout. So it's holding the trend. Mara may go as well, right? Any other suggestion, guys? Can I review CBNA? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I can. All right, CBNA was on your watch today. We should have day traded. This is what we had, right? It had this move to the upside. It pulled back down, held a 65% retracement. That's bullish. And it goes up with the market, right? This is a move with the market. It's following the market. You notice, this is before this, it was not following the market because the market has been green, right? But you can tell from this gap that this day, the CPI day, we had a ton of things gapping up. And this made it go above the daily 20 and hold. So today was the perfect day to day trade it, even though it came back down. But that's a long from the open. Look at that. We could have made some good money off of this move. But this is what I'm talking about when it's 1 or 2 days of a move, right? So whenever you have a breakout, you tend to have day number 1, day number 2, and rarely you're going to have a day 3. Rarely, right? You have the first hold right here. We have day 1, day 2, back down. And this is you don't call it the first breakout because it's only cover the prior candle, right? This follows the move 1, 2 days, boom. On the rare occasion that you have a big consolidation that breaks to higher levels, you have a multiple candle days to the upside. But for normal moves, you'll see candle breakout 1, 2, the 3 being shallower, 4, 1, the reversal, right? So just try to think of it like that. The longer the trend is, the harder you're gonna have green candles. But I mean, if you were to think like that during the ES run, the S&P futures run this last 2 weeks, I mean, you wouldn't have joined the longs at all, right? So it works sometimes, but I don't think this is breaking any major levels. It is a higher low and a higher high on the daily. So it is breaking the downtrend, which was set right here. A low trend, a lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Then slightly higher high from this high, equal high here. But then this right here is a higher low. So if you change the trend, you may still keep going higher, okay? Use a favorite retracement of the large move right here for possible levels to the upside. That's what I got. Hopefully that helps. As a day trade perspective, it was perfect today to take it. We in fact, no, it was not similar. There was a chart that was similar to this that we were gonna take. I forgot what it was. But those are some, when small cap stocks are running, there's a lot of good setups. Sadly, like today, I was looking at Beyond. Beyond would have been a nice trade. You see this consolidation going down, this breakout of the daily 20, you meet the highs right here. That would have been beautiful. What is the problem? That how are you gonna play with this with options when Beyond is at this price level? If you buy right here is 6.97, and at the highs is 7.58. I mean, how much are you gonna get off an option on a move like that, right? No idea how Beyond options move at this price level, because Beyond was beautiful to trade back here on the 15s, 17s, the 20s, beautiful. But here, I don't know about that. You guys have any other setups that you want me to look at? Let's look at some. The market has some double inside candles apparently. And FTX, nah, not at all. My scanner is not working. There was definitely a double inside candle right here, but not here. No, this thing is broken right now. I don't know what the guy that made it has to do so it can keep updating, but sometimes it breaks. I wanted to show you guys something very cool. I'm gonna check Tesla real quick, and then I want to show you guys something cool. We filled the gap on Tesla. We have another gap below. These are crazy charts, man. Crazy charts. Because it filled this gap right here, and I believe it's somewhere around the, yeah, around the 65% retracement. So the candle closed right on it. It did trade it above, so it closed right on it. If it starts having a candle above the 6.5, I think I can consider higher prices. But I cannot, I mean, this is an overextended move to the upside that could very well use a pullback. That will be ideal. We actually pulled off a Tesla trade last week. Remy, we came back. It came back down. We bought the dip. Actually, no, we bought it right here because this one made the full gap fill right here to the penny bounce, and then we bought it the next day. And up we went, and I closed the runners right here, and it went even higher, right? Wait, is today Tuesday? No, wait. No, I closed. Is this Friday? Tuesday? No. I'm wrong. When did we trade this, Remy? Yeah, right here, and then the next day gapped up, and we... Why is this 11:14? Yeah, I don't understand. I'm missing a candle right here. 11:13. That's Monday. Oh yeah, we traded this week, right? We did trade it this week, Remy, right? Right on Monday. I forgot it was Monday. I thought it was last week. Yeah, and I closed them here. And you could have keep them, and look at that. Yeah. Did you keep anything? Because I did not keep any. Once we opened higher right here, I closed them at the beginning of the trading session. I closed them here. As soon as we started, boom, out. And eventually went higher, but I was happy with the returns there. Nice, Remy. Fucking Remy, always making more money than I do. Yeah. Well, I mean, to be honest, I did not expect that Tesla was gonna gap up like this on CPI at all. I just wanted to see. In fact, I thought like the next day, like it closed right here. I thought, oh, okay, if Tesla goes back down, dips right here, and then bounces like this, we gotta stay on some runners, right? But yeah, and it opened on a gap up, so I was like, okay, let me get my shit. So yeah, says Big says RCL for short tomorrow. Okay. This is already trading about the 6.5 and closing about the 6.5. We have a gap below, so I understand. Overextended candle, 2 down, 2 up strike reversal. So I'll place an alert below this. For a possible drop right here. I don't think there's a setup. Honestly, big, but there's a possibility of just breaking if you have the right open. Like if you open above here or around here, not ideal, but if you open around the lows of the prior daily candle, you have a pretty good chance that it'll pull back and fill this, and then have a somehow of a retracement extension move. John Deere, yes sir, I can review John Deere. So earnings coming up 11/22 next Wednesday, in about a week. I don't know if you noticed, but we have a rejection here, a rejection here, a rejection here, and we are here. To break this downtrend, you need a daily candle that closes above the daily 50, just by this evidence that we have right here. We break this and hold above, it could go higher, but this could be a short to have something similar to what has happened on these other candles. Now, earnings being in a week, there could be an earnings run up, so I don't know if I would like to trade something like that. But if there was no earnings, I will try for a short because of this and that, and it may not work because you know what they say, right? You knock on the door 1, 2, 3 times, if that door's gonna open at some point, right? Resistances and supports get broken all the time at some point. They don't last forever, right? EMAs, trend lines, everything. And the more times that you touch it, the less odds the next one is gonna work. So we're at the 4th touch from this starting point. So yeah, the short may not work, but this is what I will try a short because of this ones. But if you get a daily candle above this, yeah, we can get higher on it. Yeah, and you're trading below the daily 20, I mean the weekly 20, and everything doesn't call for a good setup for longs until that breaks, right? No problem. If there's no other setups, I'll call it a night. I want to show you, I forgot, I want to show you guys something real quick. These are the sector list of the S&P 500, right? I want to point you guys to what the monthly candles are doing, right? Oops. I'm going to give you some clean. All right, I'm just gonna call it clean. This is consumer staples. So the monthly candle, we had a hammer at the last month, and this new month is going very bullish. This is already triggering a 2 down, 2 up, which it targets the high of this candle. I think it's too far up, but this whole move could meet resistance at any point right here, the 50 or the 618. So we have that on XLP. Right. Next up is the financials. You don't use trend lines, but here I am showing you a trend line right here. It looks like we're having a trend line break with a monthly 20 MA break. I'm not gonna tell you it's a trend line break. What am I doing? This candle, this is already going above the 6.5% retracement of the last drop lower. So this is calling, this monthly candle as of the middle of the month is calling for a higher move. Okay, it's calling already for a higher move. When you staircase down like this and then you have a candle reversal like this, you're calling it for even higher moves. So just keep that in mind for financials. Because we're seeing a bounce on regional banks. KRE went up a lot and whatnot, right? Communications is even more interesting. Ignore the lines. Communications is very interesting. With this low, all leg lower, run higher on the monthly, and then pull back into the EMAs. For this candle to engulf all this, it calls for even higher prices, right? That's very bullish on the monthly perspective as of the middle of the month. Has it met the average monthly candle range? Yeah. So it could pull back the rest of the month and then go back up to the same range. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind because December could call for a communications rally. That will be your Snap, T-Mobile, AT&T, Netflix. I believe, no, is Netflix and communications? I believe it is. So keep that in mind. I like this setup. I like what I'm seeing for further prices up. Materials, not to say much about materials, it's just stuck in a range. Real estate, nothing to say about it. Could be a lower high to then trend lower again. Industrials are interesting. This monthly candle, like I said, it's only at the halfway, but if we close above it, that's good signs for further prices higher. But it is below retracements most likely. Yeah, it's at the retracement. So if you're thinking of a short on industrials, this is the best place to start, right? Especially after it made it on a huge move like that without retracements, and that'll be your Triple M, Boeing, Honeywell, stuff like that, okay? Going back to the sectors. Now, this is my favorite one. Isn't it crazy that technology and not NASDAQ, right? Because whenever people think of technology, they think of NASDAQ. Is that XLK, which is only technology, is making into a new all-time highs. Not even, this is not a 52-week high, guys. This monthly chart goes back to the 2000s. These are new all-time highs. That new all-time highs got placed today. Today. It broke this high yesterday. And new all-time highs right here. Often, new highs tend to fail. And this is an overextended move. So I'm already thinking that technology is going to pull back. Maybe this is the small hill I'm trying to die on. That the market is going to pull back. Hopefully it doesn't kill anybody. It doesn't put it on stone. But this is a new high. This is the new all-time highs on it. After a mega run. Take out the liquidity that's sitting above it and start heading down. For what kind of move, I don't know, but this is very interesting. This is very interesting. I mean, who would have thought that we have a new all-time highs somewhere in the market? Not a stock, but a sector. Crazy, right? XLY going up above the prior monthly candle highs on a reversal pattern, trading about the favorite retracements. So this one does look like it's placing a higher low, and we could start looking for a reversal. And this is your discretionary. This is gonna be Amazon, Tesla, Target, cruise lines, Nike. I believe Nike is in there. I'm not sure. All that is discretionary, right? And it does look like it's placing a reversal higher low on the monthly chart. Is this halfway into the month? We're gonna visit this on two charts in chat from now. So hopefully we get a pullback in the middle of the month and finish the month like this again. And then we're gonna visit this monthly chart. Remind me, because I may forget. Remind me. We're gonna visit this monthly charts, and then go back out, because if this is a close that we get for November, December is gonna be something like this that goes back all the way over here. A candle that goes boom, boom, like this. Bullish candle, Santa rally, everything to end the year strong. XLV, this is a healthcare sector. Nothing to say about it. I dislike the healthcare sector much. Look at all those lines. Wow. It hurts my brain. They're obviously on the daily, guys. That's why it looks like that. This is just been ranging. A lot of consolidation, so there's nothing to say about it. We're hitting the monthly 20 right there. XLE, I can see a possible pullback. Okay, this is 6.5% retracement. So I can see if it loses the 6.5% retracement, I can see the daily 20. So okay, now this got me concerned for our oil positions because this low is essential. This low is essential on the daily of this whole move up on the monthly. So we got to be careful tomorrow. What's it called, Remy? VIP members, because it might go down, and then it might make a higher low because this low as the 6.5% retracement may change the trend for oil stocks. It says, not sure if you're looking to it, but when do you think market's going to pull back or already started? We already talked about it, and I'll upload it to YouTube, but yes, we're thinking that today could be the top of the week. I don't know if more than that, but we're looking for that to be. And going to utilities, there's nothing to say about utilities. We don't even look at this sector. It doesn't weigh a lot on the market. It's whatever. But yeah, going back to 8 rails, the S&P 500, just a quick recap for the people that just joined. This is a topping candle, but it only is a topping candle if the next day does not cross this high. And if we end up going and trading above all this, I'll consider the wholesalers from this candle to be over, and it's gonna push for higher prices, right? And I'm anchoring my fibs from year to year for prices. I have the gaps on my chart. And if we go even lower than this, I'm using fibs from here to here. That's the short version. So yeah, my time's up, and I think I covered all the sectors on the monthly. I think that's a good information what you got from regarding the XLE monthly lows, the new all-time highs on XLK. The XLC bull flag breakout with a higher low at the monthly 20. There you have it, right? Good piece of information for your trades. So I'm gonna start scouting for communication stuff for the next month. You know, I'm gonna let this monthly develop, but you have Disney, Netflix, Fox, Google, TTWO, BZ, Dish, Timus, EA, Meta, all the good stuff, okay? But I need to see a pullback, and then we can join. I ain't no joining so fucking an extended chart. Thank you guys. I hope you guys have a good night and you learned something. I'm gonna end the recording here, and I appreciate you all being here.